Hi everyone, Dave here at freeguitarlessonsonline.com, and welcome to this beginner's guitar lesson, chord guitar lesson. It's all about guitar chords. That's the steepest learning curve in the beginning. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dive into strategies and techniques to help you learn and memorize those basic guitar chords, how to get them sounding good, and be able to switch them. That's what this lesson's all about. So if you're new to my lessons, I urge you to use the resources on the page. You can download free guitar chord charts to use, and there are lots of tips and suggestions and guidelines, powerful stuff in the written text of the tutorial. If you're on YouTube or watching this on another video sharing site, just click the link right below the video here in the description box. It'll take you to that page and all the resources. Let's get going. Oh yeah, and for those of you wondering why I'm holding an electric guitar here, I have a rotator cuff injury right here, and to reach forward and strum with an acoustic guitar hurts quite a bit still. So it doesn't matter this lesson if you have an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar. We're going to help you get going on those chords, and don't worry, it took me 30 years or so to develop this rotator cuff injury from playing lots of guitar. You're safe. Okay, so the chord guitar lesson, and many of the guitar lesson videos on my site under the beginners section are quite similar. I'm just basically showing you how to go about learning and memorizing the basic chords and being able to switch between them eventually so that you can start strumming and putting them together in sequences so you can start playing songs. That's what it's all about right now. And today, with this lesson, we're going to work with a G chord. Remember, you've got your strings 1 through 6, starting at the skinniest, highest sounding string, that's number 1. And if you want to call them by letter names, starting on the low string, it's E, A, low strings up here, E, A, D, G, B, and E. So your strings go horizontally across, and your fret markers go vertically. Okay? You got your 4 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these fingers, the chord diagram charts will show you or tell you where to put your fingers. On the G chord, there are 2 versions, as you notice if you've downloaded the charts off the page. We're going to work with the more basic version. They're the same chord. I explain a little bit about it in the lesson, but we're going to work with the one you put your 3rd finger on fret 3 of string 1, which is right there. Try not to be back here. Try to be a little bit this way behind the fret because you get a better sound without having to press quite as hard. And you've got the whole pad of your finger to press with. You don't have to always press right on the tip. For certain things, you need to press right on the tip. For other things, if your finger is hitting the string or it's in the way, you can experiment by pressing a little lower down. I'm using the pad of my finger. My finger is not bent like that. You don't want it to collapse. It's called collapsing. You want it to be sturdy at that first knuckle. So I'm on the 3rd fret of string number 1. And then I reach, if you can't do this, just stay, if you can't reach your 2nd finger to fret 3 of string 6, then just stay like this and strum the first 4 strings. That's your G major chord for now. If you can comfortably reach up here, then let's do that. And then your 1st finger tucks in behind on fret 2 of string 5. So you've got 3 notes pressed down. And you notice my wrist is a little bit bent. It's not like that. It's a little bit bent. My thumb is behind. It's not like this. It's not like that. It's comfortable. Okay?
toward the top, pointing up, kind of like this. And you want to check that all the strings are ringing through clearly first. That may not happen for a while, particularly with string number 5. A lot of people have trouble getting that one to ring through. If that's the case for you, don't worry about it. Just work on getting the other strings to ring through for now. With practice, it'll happen. It's not something you can think your way through too much. You can check to make sure your fingers are pressing down in a good way so that your fingers are clearing. Like sometimes what happens is underneath your finger touches a string below. You just do your best, but you don't want to be bending the strings or really straining. Just keep playing the chord, and eventually your body, your hands have their own intelligence that will figure it out. The learning is in the doing. Okay? Just keep playing these chords day in and day out, and you'll get it. Okay? So there's a G. The other G we talked about with an extra note is simply my pinky on fret 3 is string 1, my third finger on the 3rd fret of string 2, and the other 2 fingers are the same. Just adds that extra D note into the chord. But as you can hear, if you were blindfolded and I played this G in a song or I played this G in a song, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference. I can hear the difference, but it's not a big one. It's just a subtle difference. In other words, it's still a G chord, so don't worry about it right now. Just learn this one for now. Okay? And what happens then is you just start learning new chords. Pick another chord and start memorizing it, learning it. And as I always say, if you download the blank chord chart sheets off my site, then you can even draw the chords out on paper. That's really helpful for a lot of people. That might speed up your learning process. I highly recommend that. And stick with 1 or 2 chords for a week or 2. Then add another chord in and gradually begin practicing switching back and forth, etc., etc. You get the idea. Okay, so this is Dave, freeguitarlessonsonline.com. Bit of a bad hair day. Thanks for stopping by.